Welcome back, everyone, to the Horror Shed Podcast. I'm one of your co-hosts, Jared. We have with us South Jersey Jason, Brian, and a happy Friday the 13th to you, sir.
Happy Friday the 13th, and thank you for waking me up.
Oh, you got it. I figured something was up because you had that day out there today. I'm sure your ass was tired.
I was in a food coma because I got brought some wonderful food home from the Blairstown Diner. I ate that, and
Brian had Thanksgiving too today.
yes, definitely, yeah. It was a good day. The weather held out because they were calling for rain, but thankfully it rained for just a little bit. The sun was out. It was pretty warm, but like about 3 o'clock, the sun went back in. The wind came out, and the wind came out, and was it cold?
Ah, okay.
Yeah, but it was a good day. Usually in January or anytime between January and April, it's Friday 13th. It's could be quiet in town, but the diner was pretty pumping,
Nice.
which
Very
which I was
nice.
very happy for. I did made a lot of new friends. I networked our podcast, and so we're going to have two guests coming on because of that, which is good.
We got
So
guests.
yeah, we got guests. One of them, her name is Ashley, I believe, and she's from North Jersey. She one is a streamer on Twitch. She's got a nice little following, and in addition to that, she is I think she said she's a former paranormal investigator, but she's also a practicing witch. So I thought that would be really
That's
cool.
two birds with one stone of stuff we want to cover.
Yeah, and the other one I didn't talk to you about, but there's two gentlemen that are putting on a fundraiser for Deborah Heart and Lung Center, and they're putting together, I don't want to call it a convention. It's going to be at like an American Legion Hall. It's going to be catered to the horror genre. So they're going to have horror based vendors, and they're going to have bands there. And one of the band is an Alice Cooper tribute band. So how cool would that be? Me in costume on stage, playing they're playing the Man Behind the Mask.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, so that's taking place on February 4th. So I talked to him, and we're going to have him and his partner come on and talk about what their plan is for this event.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah, and in addition, a third person that we're going to have on, he actually has a book that came out this week. I bought two copies, one through Amazon and one through him because he's going to have it signed by not only him, but Bill Randolph from Friday 13th Part 2. And if I take my green screen off real quick, he wrote a book about the making of Friday the 13th Part 2. So let me just bear with me. And there we go. Don't mind the background, but it's by R.G. Henning. That's a pretty cool cover right
That
there.
is a cool cover.
Yeah, and it's Sackhead Definitive Retrospective on Friday the 13th Part 2. So it's all, if you're a Friday the 13th Part 2 fan, you can find it on Amazon or any online book distributor. And I skimmed through it so far, and it looks really, really, really good. So I'm gonna start reading it over the weekend, and we're gonna have him on the show, hopefully in the next episode.
Very cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm heading to Myrtle Beach this week, but there's a chance I'm back by Wednesday, so we'll play it by ear.
cool, very nice. So yeah, today is Friday the 13th. How come Freddy Krueger doesn't have a holiday?
He does. It's I forget the day. It's like September 13th or something like that. It's the
Okay.
day that Freddy died. They had a
Uh,
funeral in Hollywood on that day.
hmm.
When they buried Freddy.
Interesting. Interesting. I did not know that, but it's cool that you brought that up. And there was a Freddy cosplayer in town today.
I saw the
Yeah,
pics. Yeah, very awesome.
yeah. He made a little baby cry, which I was like, damn you, Freddy, because when the baby came in, he was like 2 years old, he was scared to death. I took off my hawk and showed him I'm just a guy in a costume, got him all calmed down. I took a picture with him without my makeup on or whatever you want to say. Half an hour later, Freddy comes in. The kid's crying. I'm like, "Damn you, Freddy!"
Freddy's doing his job.
Yeah. So, anything new with you?
We got a little bit of haunt news. This
Oh,
is
what's
kind of
going on?
exciting.
Okay.
HHN Halloween Horror Nights from our Universal Studios is opening a year-round haunt in Vegas.
I saw that. Have you bought your tickets yet?
No, that's they're a few years away, but it'd be a
Yeah.
good time to stop at Nightmare Toys and eat at their new diner they got there.
Well, Nightmare Toys has a diner?
Yeah, right next door.
Oh, is it owned by Nightmare
Yep,
Toys or?
yeah, they've been working
Oh,
on that. COVID killed them with that. It took so
okay.
much longer, but they finally got it up. They finally got the appliances, and now she's doing like horror trivia Friday night. It's kind of like
Oh, that's
Quizzo,
cool.
but horror
Okay.
movies. Yeah.
Yeah, I know you had her on your podcast for that,
Hmm.
but we should get Chrissy on, in the upcoming
Oh,
months.
we can
And
get her.
that's cool. Um, I totally wanted to tell you something, and I totally lost my train of thought on that. So maybe it'll come back to me when we're talking. Damn it. But because I was thinking about food and horror. I'm like, that's like really cool. Yeah. So
Oh man,
and oh, you know what's coming out next week, and I didn't realize what's coming out next week is Cocaine Bear.
Cocaine Bear
Yeah.
and The Last of Us 2 comes out or The Last of Us
Next of
comes
Us
out
Sunday.
2 days.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sunday. Yeah. So that's cool. The January 15th. So for some reason I kept thinking it was last Sunday. I'm like, where the hell is it? I can't find it on HBO. But hopefully HBO with the new merger won't fuck this up.
Yeah, I'm hooked on Yellowstone. I don't even know why I like it, but I like it.
It's probably Rip Wheeler. You want to be Rip Wheeler.
Oh, I
I want to
already
be Rip
act like
Wheeler.
I'm Rip Wheeler.
So you just started the series, right?
Yeah, we just finished season 1.
Yeah.
The
I
thing
started
is,
watching.
I love Kevin Costner. I've always
Yeah.
loved Kevin Costner, and he's playing Kevin Costner, so it just works for me. Like I'll watch
Yeah.
anything with that man.
Yeah, I started watching 1923, which is the second spinoff, and the second episode, was it the second episode or third episode in? Probably the first time I've ever yelled at the TV because I was just so freaking shocked, you know. And I finished Tulsa King. Did you finish that?
Nope, nope, nope.
Ah, so
Maybe
good.
tonight, maybe tomorrow night.
Okay.
We'll see. But I'm definitely gonna. I'm sure it's amazing. I love him in that role.
Yeah.
It's like his comeback.
Oh, for sure. It's like the resurgence of Sly Stallone, you
So
know.
awesome.
Yeah, I can't wait. The way they set it up for season two, I can't wait.
You're killing me. I was just so hyped on getting home and watching Yellowstone, and I forgot Sunday. Hey, there's the season finale of Tulsa King.
Right, right. And it's I know this is not horror, but one show that I never watched until 2 weeks ago, Seinfeld.
Oh, really?
I'm already 6 seasons in.
It's it's funny.
It is.
Some of it gets a little awkward, but I mean, it's really funny.
Yeah, and like some of the episodes are like that, because we're in that day and age where you got to watch what you're saying,
Yeah.
and some of those episodes will be right in that category.
Yep. And when
Yeah.
you're done, you should check out Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Okay, okay. Oh,
Same.
now same. It's by Larry David.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And now I just remember what I had to say.
Go for it.
So right before we went on a podcast, the horror show Side Market has a show coming up. I think February 25th. They just announced, and if you're a Friday the 13th Part 8 fan, the gang members from New York when he kicks the boombox,
Oh yeah.
they're gonna be there.
That's so funny. And then everyone gives Charlie Hunnam shit, but the gang members from Jason Takes Manhattan. Oh
Well, this is
man.
Horror Sideshow, not Monster
I
Mania.
know.
Which let's talk about that real quick.
All
So,
right.
so people, Monster Mania is a very popular horror con in the East Coast,
Yep.
and I felt like they started mixing other genres into their horror shows, which it takes away from Monster Mania.
Yes.
Now you have Steel City Con, you
Which has
have
everything.
right, and then you have Chiller has everything.
Yeah.
Now, and before COVID, Monster Mania they were supposed to do a pop culture con.
Yeah.
Do you think they should still move forward with that and horror, and then anything other than horror into
I
their
think they
con?
should for them,
Mm-hmm.
because it'll really help out crowds.
Mm-hmm.
Like this Monster Mania, all the final girls from Friday, so that's gonna bring a hell of an abundance.
Yeah.
And Charlie Hunnam, I mean, he's brand new to this. I didn't even buy my ticket because I even told Terry, I'm like, listen, there's a good chance we're not parking there. I may
Mm-hmm.
have to drop you off.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I got her the general ticket today, and I got her the photo op last night, and the VIP sold out. It's gone.
Wow. Yeah.
So
A lot of my friends are like sharing Monster Mandy. I'm like, dude, if you want to go, you better buy your tickets now
yep,
because they're going to Saturday is going to sell out within I'll say a week.
yep.
You know,
And then
Saturday.
I'll wait for I can't make it. I'm selling these for whatever. That's what I'll
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. Just be careful with that though.
Yeah,
Because people are always trying to.
scam around.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, but I
So.
mean, I think Charlie Hunnam coming is a big deal, and he has done a horror. So I mean, he's not
Well, he's only
completely.
done one horror though,
Yeah,
right?
but
That's the one.
everyone there has done one horror.
Yeah, yeah. Now I'm waiting for them to announce, which they very well could. Kim Coates, who played Chibs.
Oh, he'll
Chibs?
probably go. Yeah.
Did he play Chibs? No, he wasn't Chibs. What was his
No, he was
character?
Chibs.
Was he Chibs?
Yep.
And then the Scottish guy
Oh,
with
I
the
love that dude.
yeah, yeah, he's really good. I just watched him in a western with Bill Pullman called The Ballad of Lefty Brown.
Okay.
And he played like an old friend of Bill Pullman's, and who was like they used to be he was a former like robber and then became like a sheriff, but he's got a drinking problem. And was he good in that, man? He didn't have a big role in it, but anything he's in, I'll watch it.
Yeah,
I love him.
I forgot what movie. Maybe it was a Jackie Chan movie. Did he play a bad guy in Rush Hour?
He very well could have,
I
you know.
forget because I remember him in something where he wasn't Chibs, but he was still Chibs.
Yeah,
Kim
yeah.
Coates, when he was in the Canadian Mob Show, he was good in that.
I didn't know he was in a Canadian Mob show.
I'll find the name of it. Bloodlines or something like that.
Well, it's funny because whenever I see Kim Coates, he's forever his character in Sons of
Oh
Anarchy.
yeah.
So I'll see him in something else. And like I remember he was in a Resident Evil movie and he played like a weasel in that movie, but he had such great chemistry with Walt Goggins when Walt Goggins was Venus LaFleur,
Yeah.
the transvestite. Their chemistry together was great.
Yeah, it was entertaining.
Yeah. But all right, so we are here to continue our talk on your favorite franchise,
Oh yeah.
Nightmare on Elm Street, and we're going to go in order, not necessarily for the future, but this
Probably
is
do
part
two at a
two.
time. See what
Yeah.
happens.
And I have to say, I think Freddy was the scariest in this one.
And there was a point to that. They called him the male witch in this one. They wanted to make him look more intimidating. And he was. They did a good job. But let's play the trailer for him and then we'll get started.
They told her it was just a bad dream. She knew it was real. It became a nightmare on Elm Street. Now there's a new kid on Elm Street. And Freddy's been waiting.
I'm afraid to go to sleep.
And we'll stay up all night if we have to. I'm not gonna let anything happen to you.
Freddy's back. And this time he's not fooling around.
You are all my children now.
A Nightmare on Elm Street, Part 2, Freddy's Revenge. It's coming soon.
All right. Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. He is back for revenge.
So where does this fall in your rankings?
You know, I haven't done that list. It's not as far down as definitely not my favorite,
Okay.
but I still enjoy watching it
Yeah.
because it's kind of like that anthology feel because
Mhm.
it was completely different cast and didn't
Yeah.
follow the story. And if 3 wasn't so good, I would wish that they kept with the anthology and him just
Yeah.
attacking more kids.
Yeah.
I think that would have been a cool plot line.
Okay.
But yeah, I haven't. It changes all the time Because it would have to be 1, 2, 3. Probably second from the bottom.
Second from the bottom,
Yeah,
really?
yeah. See,
Wow.
I'm a huge closet fan of Freddy's Dead
Right.
because that's just
Okay.
cartoon Freddy.
See, that's in my actually. It's that would be my top five, part two.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why I like it so much, and I've always, and this is even before I really picked up on the gay undertones. Um, I don't know, it was just
It
scary,
was
and I
fucking
think,
scarier. It really
and
was.
what I think my favorite scenes actually was when he came into the real world at the party scene.
Oh, the pool
You know,
party?
the
Yeah.
pool party, yeah. He's like the one thing that really, he's like, "You are all my children now." You know, that was just an awesome scene right there.
Yeah, I just threw it up for the YouTube. They got to see that.
Plus
I found some scenes that we might touch on. So
the final girl, I forget her name, but she's a redhead. I have a thing for redheads too. So
yeah. Hey, I know her real name's Kim Myers. Her
Kim
name in the
Myers, yeah.
movie is kind of falling away. That's weird. We'll get into that though.
And Kim Myers has aged like a fine wine too.
Yeah,
He was
it was. She kind of looks better now.
She does. She was at a Monster or NJ HorrorCon within the past year, and she looks really good. Like she's aged really well.
Her and Amanda Weiss, like they both look
Yeah,
better now. Maybe because I'm older, but I mean,
yeah. I always felt like Amanda Weiss is prettier now.
yeah,
Like that's how I felt like with Michelle Pfeiffer. The older she got, the prettier she looked to me. You
yeah,
know?
yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah. So, yeah, this is definitely, if you had your heroine Nancy, and it went from Nancy to Jesse,
Yep, and
and
sorta Jesse's girl, ha, and pow, ping, zing,
and
zang.
a lot of people weren't like, Jesse wasn't like your typical final guy, and that's to no fault to Mark Patton, but
No,
he reminded me, growing up, he reminded me of Mark Singer. If you remember Mark Singer from V or the Beastmaster,
yes,
yeah, that's who he always reminded me of.
yeah.
Yeah.
Let's cut into this bad boy.
Okay.
A Nightmare on Elm Street 2: Freddy's Revenge. Stylized on screen as A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2: Freddy's Revenge is a 1985 American supernatural slasher film. Directed by Jack Shoulder and written by David Chaykin, it stars Mark Patton, Kim Myers, Robert Englund, and Robert Russler. It is the second installment in the Nightmare on Elm Street series. The film follows Jesse Walsh, a teenager who begins having recurring nightmares about Freddy Krueger after moving into the former home of Nancy Thompson for the first film. So they kind of use the house as the beacon.
Yeah.
A
Yeah,
cool idea.
And the house played a character of its own, sort of, and the actually, it was, to me, it was, think of it as like the Amityville house in a way,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. Damn. Freddy's Revenge was released on November 1st, 1985 and grossed $30 million at the domestic box office on a budget of $3 million.
Mm.
It received mixed reviews from critics upon release, with many comparing it unfavorably to its predecessor. However, it has enjoyed later success as a cult classic, with critics having reassessed the film's homoerotic themes and subject material. It was distributed by New Line Cinema. The film was followed by A Nightmare on Elm Street 3: Dream Warriors.
Okay, so this came out and Dream Warriors didn't come out until 2 years later. They really rushed to get this film out.
They did. They didn't want to. I mean, I think Bob Shea had a lot of shit on the line. Because I know he mortgaged a bunch of shit to get the first one made.
Yeah.
So I think he was trying to get it back.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's good that they waited 2 years to get the film for part three. It's, part three is like, people think it's like the best one out of the entire franchise.
It's my favorite.
Yeah. Yeah. So I didn't realize how quick of a turnaround between the first and the second one. It's almost like Friday the 13th.
Yeah. Is it even a full year? It's not even a full year.
No, because I think
It
the
was
original.
summer of '84.
No. Nightmare on Elm Street, the first one came out like November of '84.
Oh, so it was a full year.
Well,
Okay.
I think it was a
Oh, but
shy
yeah,
of like 2 weeks.
I gotcha.
So yeah. So do you think they if they waited just a couple like another year, we could have gotten a different movie?
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I know they had to pay Freddy more money because he was
Yeah.
actually dropped out of this film. And then they
Really?
did tests and were like, we fucked up.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it
Wow.
might be in
No.
here. I'll have to check that
Okay.
out. Yeah, that was in Never Sleep Again.
Okay.
Plot. 5 years after Freddy's apparent defeat, the Walshes have moved into Nancy Thompson's former home. Their teenage son Jesse has a nightmare about being stalked by Krueger driving a school bus. Awesome scene.
Yeah, that I mean they made him like Jesse look like a dweeb, with the
Oh
greased
yeah,
down hair, and the girls were making fun of him. And I think what really started getting my blood pumping was when he was trying to get the windows down and
oh
they
yeah.
couldn't get down.
And
Yeah.
then they don't show you see the outline of Freddy, but it's the glove coming between the seats, and then he flings it.
Really?
Yeah, he's pulling the glove up through the seats. Like as he's going from seat to seat, you watch the glove go up and down.
Oh shit. I think I did not the only time I picked out the glove was when he was gear shifting.
No, 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 no.
Oh.
When they're on that big rock in the desert and he's
Okay.
walking towards them, he's doing it really slow, and you just see the blades of the glove go in and out between the seats as he's getting closer.
Oh
And
shit.
then the
I never
glove
never
lifts, he scratches the shit out of
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
ceiling, and then Jesse wakes up.
I've never noticed that. Yeah, before he wakes up, when you see the school bus like on three pillars,
Yeah,
and like the one like crumbles, that was good. And so practical effects, like I just loved it, the models and everything. But yeah, that opening scene always freaked me out because I think that's a kid's worst nightmare, getting left on a bus.
and it plays to
Yeah,
that too. Yeah,
yeah.
and as you said, Robert Englund did play the bus driver.
Right. And the guy who played his dad, he just passed away last year.
Yes.
Dude, man, he lived a good life because he looked old in the second one.
He was gay too.
Was he really?
Yes.
I did not know that. Okay. All right. Isn't the director gay as well?
Yes.
Or okay. And it's a shame, if I'm sure we'll touch base on the Scream Queen documentary.
It's in here a
Like,
little bit, yeah.
okay. Like you really felt bad for Mark.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And when they had their confrontation, I guess you can call it, like that director was a jackass.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So after he wakes up from the bus and attributes the dream to the unusual heat in his room, Jesse goes to school with his friend Lisa, whom he is interested in romantically but is too shy to flirt with her. Pussy.
Hey, let's talk about let's talk about when they get into his car, the deadly dinosaur.
The deadly dinosaur. Who's gonna steal this? The deadly dinosaur.
It was a push button convertible.
Remember? Holy shit. Remember when he said someone should buy the car from the first one and make it?
Yeah.
Not, a week later, there's one for sale right on 40 on my way to 55.
Oh shit, get out of here.
It's a brown roof and it's a tan
Okay.
car.
There you go.
I was like,
There you go.
wow. But in this car market, I'm sure he wants like $75,000 for it.
Yeah. But dude, take a loan from the bank, redo it, start going to cons,
Rent that shit at $100 to sit in it. Come on.
Yeah. I mean, come on, they're at the Michael Myers mobile, they're charging $40 if you wanted to sit in it. Yeah.
Damn.
Mhm.
Maybe I'll look into that.
Yeah.
All right. So after getting into a fight with a boy named Grady during gym class, Coach Snyder has them stay after class and they become friends doing push-ups in the shortest shorts you've ever seen.
Or let's talk about their baseball scene when they're playing baseball. And they get in a fight and then you see a jockstrap.
Yes.
And fun fact, you may or may not know this, but Grady, Robert Russell, I think his name is, he was in Weird Science. He was Mad Max, I believe, or maybe vice versa with Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked Grady in this. I thought he was funny.
Yeah, I wanted more Grady in it.
Yeah.
I think I wonder if there are like deleted scenes more of him. Like they had good chemistry, and I just felt like Grady needed more screen time.
Yeah, he was. Maybe because they made Jesse weaker that we liked Grady more. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Lisa comes to visit Jesse after school and walks in on him doing this very inappropriate dance. I have the picture of the fucking sunglasses up right now.
Oh man, I mean that's how I cleaned my room in the '80s. Let me tell you.
Yeah, me too.
I boot scoot the dresser drawers.
Did you do the little pop at the end?
I know it's funny. I actually had one. I was trying to find it, and boop, but I don't know if it's in one of my boxes. But yes, that is how all guys in the '80s clean their bedroom.
It was not for me, but okay.
Come on, you gotta have those sunglasses somewhere, though.
Yeah, I should get them. They look good on the friggin' drawer.
And this is the scene where Lisa finds the diary, right?
Correct. Lisa comes to visit Jesse, and they discover Nancy Thompson's diary detailing her nightmares, which are strikingly similar to Jesse's. Small fires happen around the house, which culminates in the spontaneous combustion of the pet birds.
Oh, poor bird.
That was supposed to be a completely different scene.
Okay.
That bird was supposed to be like a Freddy controlled bird with a crazy face and attacked the family. They tried it and they're like, this ain't fucking working. So they scrapped it.
So they scrapped it to a carnivorous bird when you take the sheet off and you see Polly's head just flopping on the ground.
Yeah.
And then the other birds attacking the family, cuts to dad, like on his cheek, and then he spontaneously combusts.
Yeah. And then my favorite part is Jesse's father accuses him of sabotage.
Yes, because every father blames the kid for touching the thermostat. It reminds me of Daddy's Home 2.
Yes. And that's still popping up on my Instagram stories. It's so funny.
Yeah.
Did you touch the thermostat? I'm like, calm down, Mel Gibson.
Yeah, and it's I always wondered why the dad was blaming Jesse, for that.
Because he's a teenager and that's what they all did.
Are you on drugs? Yeah. So
but I mean that's the whole storyline between Friday, Halloween, Nightmare. No one believes the fucking kids. That's what makes it scarier.
Yeah.
Because there's nowhere to go with it.
And before we go further, let's talk about the gym coach. That was he was the stereotypical mean gym coach that you didn't want to have in high school,
See, I had one that was like him. He was a lot fatter, but would make fun of us because we couldn't run.
It's funny. I had the same kind of coach too.
I was going down the baseball practice. He goes, "Oh, you play baseball?" Yeah, I'm not 700 fucking pounds. I play baseball. I'm gonna go to practice now. Who the fuck are you?
Right.
And I was like, what, 14?
Did your gym coach also frequent BDSM clubs?
And he probably did. Yeah, he more than likely did. Fucking asshole. I don't even remember his name. I still see his face though. Fucking. Anyway, back to. That was a cool scene too that we'll get into.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so the following night, Jesse has a nightmare where he encounters Freddy. A little picture of that, who tells him to kill for me. The dreams grow more intense, and Jesse unsuccessfully attempts different measures to keep himself awake. He eventually begins wandering the streets at night. One night, he is caught by Schneider ordering a drink in a gay bar and is made to run laps at school as a punishment. Also, another note, you know who else was in that gay bar?
I'm going to take a wild guess, but Bob Shea, right?
Bob Shea.
Was he the bartender? Or...
Yes, he wore the black...
yeah, like the vest or something.
Yep.
Yeah, so...
And I think he had chaps on.
What would your reaction be if, you ended up in a gay bar and there goes, one of your teachers in there?
I'm laughing and taking pictures.
And then I'd be questioning why are you in a gay bar?
Exactly.
But what's funny though? When I think of a gay bar, like in an 80s movie, I always think of Police Academy.
Yes.
The Blue Oyster.
The Blue Oyster. Oh, that was such a funny scene.
Bam,
After sending Jesse to the shower, Schneider is attacked by unseen force that drags him into the showers. Jesse then vanishes into the steam, and Freddy emerges, killing Schneider by slashing his back.
So and this is where this movie always confused me.
Me too, brother, and that's why it will
Okay.
never be one of my favorites, because I think they fucked up something, and this was their way to fix it.
Because you think Jesse fell asleep, and that's how the
I think so, because how would he end up in a gay bar? How would he end up? The teacher's not going to take him to the gym. The teacher's going to fucking leave.
Right,
You know what I
right.
mean? Like, so it's just too weird not to be a dream.
Yeah.
And then Freddy's wearing the glove. I mean, Jesse's wearing the glove after he sees Snyder's dead.
Yeah.
So-
but let's talk about Snyder getting
Fucking the snap tail of the century
yeah.
to the point where his ass is bleeding from it.
Yeah.
My God. Afterwards, Jesse is horrified to see the glove on his hand. He is escorted home by police after being found wandering the streets naked, and his parents began to suspect that Jesse may be on drugs or mentally disturbed. Lisa takes Jesse to an abandoned factory where Freddy Krueger worked, but they found nothing there.
And that was a cool seeing them going to the boiler factory or whatever. That was really cool.
It was cool, and that rat scene scared the shit out of you.
Yeah. So, but let's talk about, I think this is really the first time you hear Jesse scream when he's wearing a glove.
Yeah.
He's got the Scream Queen scream going on.
He does. He does.
He's right up there with, he takes the first place. Second place would be Shavar Ross from Friday 13th Part 5. Who played Reggie the Reckless?
Yes.
When he sees Imposter
yes.
Jason.
That shit was funny.
Have you ever seen if you can find it on YouTube, but it's right when Pam and Reggie discover the dead paramedic, and Reggie sees Imposter Jason and he screams. Someone then put in sound effects of Mario when Mario runs real fast and when Reggie runs away.
Did you see that someone put it's a 1980s blister pack and it's his brother and there's two little enchiladas in the package and it's those damn enchiladas?
Yes,
I was fucking dying when I saw that.
Yes. And then someone did something similar, and I think it was for I forget what it was, a vampire that died, and it was just dust or something in there.
Oh yeah, they cracked me up with that, man.
Mm-hmm.
The following night, Jesse goes to Lisa's pool party and kisses her in the cabana, but his body begins to change and he leaves in a panic. He goes to Grady's house, confesses to killing Schneider.
Really gives her a French kiss.
He does, with Freddy's crazy ass tongue.
Mm-hmm.
And instructs Grady to watch him as he sleeps and to stop him if he tries to leave. When Grady eventually falls asleep, Freddy emerges from Jesse's body and kills Grady. And one of the coolest scenes, you see Freddy come out of Jesse. That was just really cool. I really like that.
So do you think so Grady's asleep when that happens, so it's not happening in the real world. But
it does though, because I don't think Jesse was asleep. Because Jesse was awake at the pool house.
Yeah.
Jesse was awake at Grady's when it started happening. Oh my God, it's happening again! And then
how's he alive then when Freddy
Jesse was his portal to the real world, because then he ends up at the pool party.
Right.
And this whole scene is why Wes Craven did not direct the second movie.
Which scene?
The whole him coming to the real world.
Okay.
Or staying there for an amount of time.
Right. Wasn't it at Grady's bedroom when like he's screaming and you see like an eyeball in his throat or
Yes,
something, or
yes.
yeah,
It
yeah,
looks left and one looks right.
yeah,
And
yeah,
Grady's kill was awesome because the glove comes through the door in front of the
yeah,
parents, and that fucking
yeah,
horrified me for life.
yeah, yeah. Because I'm just like wondering, how does Jesse live when Freddy's like tearing through his body?
Exactly. I, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. But yeah, I think the whole scene back at Lisa's pool party was just
It
awesome.
was. It was probably one of the better scenes in the Nightmare films.
Yeah.
Returning to Lisa's house, Jesse tells her what is going on. Lisa realizes that Jesse's terror is giving Freddy his strength, but he cannot stop fearing him and transforming again. Freddy locks Lisa's parents in their bedroom and attacks her, but realizes he cannot harm her due to Jesse's influence. Freddy goes outside where he begins to slaughter the partygoers. Lisa's father emerges with a shotgun, but Lisa stops him from shooting Freddy, who escapes in a ball of flame. Still a cool scene. Like the sodas are popping, everything's getting hot, the pool's
Mm-hmm.
getting too hot, kids are getting sliced. I mean, it was, and then your infamous flame, "You were all my children now" scene.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And then the dad comes out, the shotgun's trying to kill him.
yeah,
And then like I think Freddy slash Jesse looks at Lisa like one last time because she like stops the dad from shooting him, and he like makes eye contact with her, I think, and then
mhm.
he walks through the bushes into like a flame.
Yeah, that was, it was a
Well,
cool
it's
scene.
safe to say she's not allowed to have any more parties.
No, I think that's done.
Yeah.
Lisa drives to the factory, facing sudden nightmares and having to control her fear before confronting Freddy. She pleads with Jesse to fight Freddy, but Freddy's hold is too strong. When Lisa confesses her love for Jesse and kisses Freddy, Jesse begins to fight back. Freddy combusts and turns to ash, from which Jesse emerges. And can we talk about the Ghostbusters? Like,
The dogs?
yes,
I was hoping you were going to bring that up.
where the fuck did that come from?
Maybe those are his version of hellhounds.
Maybe. I mean, they're in the toy with Nightmare 2.
They are, and I don't have that figure. I only have the first figure. So
Yeah, they're
I
kind of big in there too.
yeah, there's two of them, right, in
Yeah.
that collection. Okay. Yeah, I don't know where they came from because again, it's the real world. So why are
Right.
like
Like it was there was I understand why Wes skipped it, but Freddy was scary in this, so I kind of liked it.
mm-hmm.
Later, as Jesse, Lisa, and Lisa's friend Carrie are taking the bus to school, Jesse begins to notice similarities to his original nightmares and panics.
Mm-hmm.
After Lisa calms Jesse down, Carrie says that it's all over.
It's all over.
Just before Freddy's clawed arm bursts through her chest, Freddy laughs as the bus drives into the field, just as in Jesse's first nightmare.
Yeah.
Cool ending.
So again, an open ending like part one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but better because it kind of laid the land for we could keep this in anthology. We could continue with these kids if we want. They left it open. Then they decided to go a whole different way.
Yeah.
All right, the cast. Mark Patton as Jesse Walsh.
And Mark he was a good actor. He went to Juilliard, I believe, or he went. It's not Juilliard, the actor studio, I think, but Val Kilmer was his classmate, I believe, and he was going to be like the next big thing, pretty much. But this movie kind of, unfortunately, forbid that to happen
Yeah,
because how he was
Hollywood.
cast. Yeah, yeah.
I think if he did it like 30 years later, he would have been fine.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it would have been like, what, 2010? And it's, normal now.
Yeah.
But Mark Patton as Jesse Walsh. He was in Disney shows too, wasn't he?
I don't know. I never really looked at his
I know he was in some
filmography.
weird sitcom where he was singing.
Yeah, I think that was before.
Oh, it's
Nightmare on Elm
definitely
Street.
before, way before.
Yeah, yeah. And Kim Myers, like I don't know her from anything else.
Me neither. I'd have to look
Yeah.
that up. Kim Myers as Lisa Weber. Robert Russler as Ron Grady.
He's been in a few different things.
Yeah. Clu Gulager as Kevin Walsh.
And
Oh.
I think he was more of a I know he was big popular before Nightmare on Elm Street, but I think he was always like a character actor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hope Lang is Cheryl Walsh. Marshall Bell, who was pretty much in everything in the 80s.
I want to say, now I could be mistaken, but I think he was a bad guy in Twins. Like he was like the assassin.
I think so.
He has that face, and like I could be confusing him with someone
And he
else.
was in
But
Starship Troopers too, wasn't he?
was he? Was he like an old hardened army
Yeah.
person or something? Yeah.
Yeah, he's been in a lot. I liked him in this too. He was
Yeah.
Coach Snyder, Melinda O'Fee as Miss Weber, Tom McFadden as Mr. Weber. Those are Kim's parents.
Okay.
Sydney Walsh as Carrie Hellman, who I believe was in 21 Jump Street.
So who was her character?
She was the friend at the end. It was
Oh,
Kim's friend.
okay. Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Robert Englund. Duh. All right.
But you know who the one character like I couldn't stand was Jesse's sister. She was
Look
a
at
little
my
one-
nail. Yeah, she was
Yeah, look
fucking
at
annoying.
my
Oh, God. Development. Pre-production for Nightmare on Elm Street 2 began in April of 1985.
Wow,
That's
damn,
quick.
Whew.
Like, did you even get checks back from the box office when the first one came
Right.
out?
I mean, literally that's 7 months
Yeah.
from start to finish. Damn.
Screenwriter Leslie Boehm pitched the producers with his idea of using pregnancy and possession as a plot device for the second film. My concept was a homage to Rosemary's Baby. I came up with a plot that had a new family move into the house, a teenage boy, his pregnant mother, and a stepfather the boy didn't get along with. It was a real bloody, scary idea, much more physical and realistic because the dream reality stuff was less central to the movies then. My story was more of a possession scenario with Freddy getting inside the mother's womb, controlling the fetus. But New Line passed on it because executive Sarah Reiser was pregnant at the time, and I understand the idea upset her, so they went with David Chaykin's concept instead. And oddly enough, ended up being Freddy 5.
Which is your favorite? Your
That's my least. Well, if you count the remake, it's above the remake, but I don't count the remake, so it's at the bottom.
You got to count the remake because it's in the Freddy universe. I'm sorry.
No, it's a remake. It's out of the universe. It's not part of the FCU. Though both films ended up using the spirit possession concept, the pregnancy idea would eventually be used in the sequel, in Nightmare on Elm Street 5, which Boehm did write the script for. Robert Shea offered Wes Craven the chance to direct again, but he turned down the offer since he had many problems with the script, such as the possessed parakeet. That seemed very ridiculous to him, and of Freddy merging with the main characters and manifesting in real life at the pool party to kill scores of teenagers, of which many are bigger than him, which Craven thought would diminish Freddy's scare factor as Robert Englund is not very tall in stature. Jack Shoulder, who had previously written and directed Alone in the Dark for New Line, was offered to direct. In a 2020 interview, he explained that he had no interest in making horror films, and that his initial feeling was to turn Robert Shea down. After realizing that A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, Freddy's Revenge, could put him on the map as a director, he said yes. The intro scene with Jesse's nightmare of Freddy driving the bus was carried over from the previous film. Craven was against Freddy appearing in person as the driver of the car in the epilogue scene, as he felt the storyline for Nancy, Tina, Rod, and Glenn should be self-contained in the first film. The compromise between him and Shea was therefore to use the idea of Freddy driving the vehicle for the sequel, but not for any characters from Craven's film. The character of Lisa Weber was named Lisa Paletti in the script. On Wes Craven's suggestions, Chaykin put more emphasis on Lisa in the film than he originally intended. He explains that Craven suggested that we shift the focus from Jesse, the male lead, in the script. The focus was on Jesse for 90% of the film, but suddenly it shifted to Lisa, his girlfriend, pretty much making it 50-50. Wow. So Craven even influenced the script.
Mm-hmm. Well, at that time, he probably still had a say in things.
I'm sure he did.
Yeah.
New Line Cinema originally thought to save money by using an unnamed extra in a rubber mask to play Freddy. As had been the case for mass mute and personal killers like Jason Voorhees and Michael Myers, but reconsidered when they realized that the man had that gait and posture of a monster or a Frankenstein's monster, as opposed to Robert Englund's classically trained physical acting.
So, in other words, they wanted to go the Spirit Halloween route.
Yeah, they wanted to do remake Freddy.
Yeah.
The extra as Freddy still remained in one scene left in the film. During Coach Snyder's death scene in the shower, though obscured by excess water steam, realizing their mistake, the producers quickly brought back Englund for the rest of the film and series. Robert Shea, head of New Line Cinema, wanted to play the role of Ron Grady's father, but was denied by director Jack Shoulder, who gave him the non-speaking role of the bartender at the S&M bar that Jesse visits. Shea would later recall in Never Sleep Again that the leather outfit was purchased from an LA store, The Pleasure Chest.
I wonder if he still has it.
I think he does. I actually think he went and bought it.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Wow. It's pretty bad. You are the head of New Line Cinema, and you're regulated to a
But what is New Line Cinema yet? I mean,
true, but
you got one in.
You're the boss. Give him like, what'll it be?
I mean, it is money funding the thing, so I mean, I see what you're saying. Filming. Principal photography commenced in June of 1985. Director Jack Shoulder said in an interview he had very little time to prepare, and that the movie contained a lot of special effects, none of which I knew how to do. The film's special effects were headed by Kevin Yeager, who handled Freddy's design, and Mark Shostrom, who was responsible for the transformation effects wherein Freddy comes out of Jesse's body. David B. Miller, who created the makeup for the original film, was busy working on Cocoon and My Science Project. In a later interview, Yeager expressed disappointment and confusion regarding the end of the film. Everybody did, bro. Don't worry about it. The film opened on 522 screens in the New York, Washington, D.C., Detroit, and Texas areas. Varying figure has been reported for its opening weekend. Daily Variety reported an opening at 3.8 million, placing it second for the weekend behind Death Wish 3.
Oh, and I think Death Wish 3 was the shittiest one of them all, too.
Yeah. Critical response. We don't really get into that. All right, so homoerotic subtext. Film commentators have often remarked on the film's perceived homoerotic theme, claiming its subtext suggests Jesse as a repressed homosexual. They note in particular the scenes where he encounters his gym teacher at a fetish club and his flight to a male friend's house after he attempts to make out with his girlfriend at a pool party. Furthermore, actor Mark Patton, who plays Jesse, played a role so often written as a female in the subgenre that it has become known as the final girl.
So let's stop right there. Okay, so you're making out with your girlfriend. You know something's going on as far as feeling you're possessed. Freddy starts to come out. Well, not come out, but take over.
That is the worst words you could have used right now.
So he's scared. So rather than tell his girlfriend, if I had a male best friend, I'd probably run to him too.
Yeah.
So,
well, you protect the woman too, because you don't know what the fuck's going to happen.
Yeah.
At the time of its release, one publication referred to it as the gayest horror film ever. And the 21st...
Now, that's Rocky Picture Horror Show.
Yeah. In the 21st century, it has become a cult film for gay audiences. On Never Sleep Again, The Elm Street Legacy, David Chaikin refers to a 2009 list on Crack.com, which lists the 5 most unintentionally gay horror movies, with Freddy's Revenge as number 1. And states that there is nothing logical that can explain the level of homoeroticism in this movie.
Yeah, I have to go revisit that documentary because I only watched it one time, and I would be interested to see the top 5 quote unquote gayest horror movies of all time.
Yeah, it's on Crack.com apparently.
Okay.
Yeah, the Never Sleep Again is like 5 hours long.
Yeah.
I've watched it 3 times.
Have you? Okay.
I would put it on in the background because it was streaming.
Okay.
It was on Amazon for a while or one of the
Okay.
free ones, and I would just, while I was working on shit, I'd just play it. The book, Welcome to Our Nightmares, Behind the Scenes with Today's Horror Actors, elaborates on the film's homoerotic subtext, stating that the film suggests an undertone of homosexuality, starting with the protagonist's gender-neutral name, Jesse, rarely fully clothed. That's interesting.
I mean, Jesse's a gender neutral name.
Yeah, there's girls named Jesse. There's boys named Jesse.
Oh, I never thought of it that way. Huh. But the only thing is, like, it's spelled differently for a guy and a girl, I think.
Well, the way
So
people spell shit now.
yeah, but you know what? But here's the thing, though. In 1984, did you really? You didn't think gender neutral, you know?
No, but that was one of the few names that would work.
Yeah, true, true. I just hate that we live in a society where, like, we have to really deeply analyze everything. You know? Yeah.
He and
Okay.
a tormentor have a sweaty wrestling match. His coach, clad in leather, basically hits on him in a gay bar, then gets killed by Freddy, including a bare ass spanking. It's true. Freddy emerges from Jesse's stomach in the same forced birth technique that made the Aliens films legendary.
Yeah, you know what though? But if they really wanted to say, yeah, this is a gay movie, it'd come out the other end.
It's true. Mark Patton has claimed that the film's gay subtext was increasingly emphasized through script rewrites as production progressed. It just became undeniable, he told BuzzFeed in 2016. I'm laying in bed and I don't know what the hell that word is. Pieta?
Pieta, and the candles are dripping. I don't know.
And the candles are dripping and they're bending like phalluses and white wax is dripping all over. It's like I'm the center of a Bukkake video. He has felt betrayed since he knew the filmmakers were aware he was gay, but closeted. They had considerable leverage over him in having him perform a role that, combined with his performance as a gay teen in Come Back to the Five and Dime, Jimmy Dean, the year before. Oh, that was the name of that show.
I wonder how they knew he was gay. I wonder if, like, he did something on a slip
Maybe.
and someone caught it.
Or maybe just someone told him that from another show or something.
Yeah.
Because you're going to believe everything you're fucking told.
Yeah.
Led to him being typecast as gay. The role called attention to what he was trying to avoid discussing, would have forestalled him getting any significant roles in the 1980s Hollywood.
And it just makes you wonder, like, where if he wasn't outed during that film, what he could have went on to, because you know how Hollywood was back then. Like,
Yeah, there was a lot of them, but they never got out.
Yeah, yeah.
In particular, Patton blames Chaikin, who he says claimed the subtext arose above how Patton played the part. I love when he uses the word subtext, he complained. Did you actually go to a freshman English course in high school? This is not subtext. In 2016, he said Chaikin sabotaged him. Nobody ever affected my confidence. The boys that threw rocks at me, nobody, but this man did. Chaikin denied for years that there was a gay subtext in the screenplay. Instead, at one point, he told a reporter that Patton had simply played the part too gay. The emotional stress of the film led Patton to leave acting shortly afterwards for a career in interior decorating.
And Chaskin, you know, I just want to pummel him.
He's an asshole.
He's an asshole, and he just looks like that greasy, I don't know, just like he never amounted to anything. I don't think he did anything really big after part 2, but the dude totally did Mark Patton wrong.
Yeah.
And to deny it for 30 some years.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
While Chaikin has tried to reach out and apologize to Patton over the years with limited success, he maintains that Patton's interpretations of Jesse were choices that he made. I have to believe that he got it, and that was how he decided to play it. In 2010, Chaikin finally admitted it was a deliberate choice on the part. Homophobia was skyrocketing, and I began to think about our core audience, adolescent boys, and how all of this stuff might be trickling down into their psyches, he explained. My thought was just tapping into the angst would give it an extra edge to the horror. How?
Yeah. So, you know, you do what your director tells you to do.
Yep.
So Mark Patton was acting the way director told him to act. So it was it was a sabotage on
Oh,
definitely
without a
on
doubt.
yeah.
One scene that would have made the gay subtext more apparent was toned down. England was actually prepared to insert one of his hand knife blades into Jesse's mouth instead of merely caressing his lips with it, as he does in the finished film. But Patton did not feel comfortable with it. Yeah, I don't want a knife in my mouth either.
Yeah.
The film's makeup artist suggested to Patton that he did not do the scene that way to protect his image. In a February 2010 interview with Attitude magazine, Robert Englund said, "The second Nightmare on Elm Street is obviously intended as a bisexual themed film. It was the early 80s, pre-AIDS paranoia. Jesse's wrestling with whether to come out or not, and it's his own sexual desires was manifest by Freddy. His friend is the object of his affection. That's all there in the film. We did it subtly, but the casting of Mark Patton was intentional too, because Mark was out and had done Come Back to the Five and Dime, Jimmy Dean. So apparently, Freddy's saying he was out. Jesse's saying he wasn't out.
Mm-hmm.
In an article written by Brent Hardinger of AfterElm.com, he notes that a frequent debate in gay pop culture circles is just how gay was 1985's The Nightmare on Elm Street 2. The imagery in the movie makes it seem unmistakably gay, but the filmmakers have all denied that was their intention. During his interview segment of the 2010 documentary Never Sleep Again, David Chaykin admitted that the gay themes were intentional, because I don't think he admitted it till that movie.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. And that's why I love the documentary Scream Queen, and they finally have their talk, and he's such a douchebag.
Yeah. In a 2020 interview, director Jack Shoulder said he'd never had any discussion with Chaykin or anybody at New Line about a gay subtext in script during productions. He did add that, in his view, the movie was about repressed sexual angst that every teenager experiences, and that the angst could express itself in the question, am I gay? He also pointed out that Mark Patton did not pick up on any gay subtext when he was reading the script, but that it was pointed out to him by one of the crew members. Shoulder concluded by saying, looking back on it, there were a whole bunch of decisions, starting with casting Mark that really, if you look at some of the things as to why it's the gayest horror movie of all time, some of it is people reading into things, some of it was intentional, and some of it was stuff that people added that fed into the idea. You're going to tell me an already gay man's reading that script and not seeing the text? He's fucking lying again.
Yeah.
I was fucking like 7. I'm like, oh, that's a little weird. But yet, he's not going to read up on that.
Mm-hmm.
Others in the cast and crew have said that they were unaware of any themes at the time they made the film, but that a series of creative decisions on the part of director Jack Shoulder unintentionally brought Chaykin's theme to the forefront. In an interview, Shoulder said, I simply did not have the self-awareness to realize that any of this might be interpreted as gay. Now out, Mark Patton said, I don't think that Jesse was originally written as a gay character. I think it's something that happened along the line of by serendipity. Patton had also wrote Jesse's Lost Journal about Jesse's life after the film and dealing with homosexuality.
That's an actual book?
Apparently.
Oh, wow.
I have to check that out. It's called Jesse's Lost Journal.
That sounds interesting.
Check that out.
Yeah.
In 2019, Patton produced and starred in the documentary film Scream Queen, My Nightmare on Elm Street, which focuses on the legacy of Freddy's revenge and how it affected him.
Very good documentary, and it's still on Shudder, I believe.
Yes. It might be on Tubi, too.
Oh, okay.
I saw it recently. Oh, man. Quick little fun facts. Let's see if there's anything we didn't cover. The only Nightmare film in which the lead character is male.
Interesting.
Kim Myers was allegedly cast in the film due to a resemblance to Meryl Streep.
And she did.
Yeah.
Well,
Robert Englund has come out and said Freddy's Revenge is his least favorite Nightmare on Elm Street movie. Michael J. Fox was considered for the role of Jesse Walsh, but was unable due to his commitments to Back to the Future and Teen Wolf.
Yeah, I mean, he's making that Back to the Future money. There's no way he's doing Freddy Part 2. That's new. I did not know that. I couldn't see Michael J. Fox ever. Like,
I could see him in that movie.
Could you?
Him in the convertible with the girl,
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
friend. He's got the stupid vest on from Back to the Future. I
But
mean,
no, he wouldn't be driving a convertible. He'd be driving
well, that was a convertible.
sweet ass black Toyota, though.
Oh yeah, yeah.
No.
The original glove from A Nightmare on Elm Street was used in this movie and was also seen hanging on the wall of the work shed in Evil Dead 2. This was in response to the use of the Evil Dead on a television screen in A Nightmare on Elm Street, and part of a continued banter between directors Wes Craven and Sam Raimi. However, when Wes Craven loaned the glove to A Nightmare on Elm Street 3 of the Dream Warriors set, it was lost, but eventually found by a Freddy fan, Mike Becker, at an auction in 2009.
It wasn't lost, it was stolen.
Oh, yeah, they took that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know.
But here's a good one I'm reading. Had this film failed, New Line Cinema may have not survived. It made them enough money that they had another hit series on their plate, Critters. I love Critters, man. Not the sequels, just the first Critters.
Yeah. Yeah, it probably wouldn't have. That's probably why he was such in a hurry to get this going. Rather than continue the story of the first film's sole survivor, Nancy, this movie focuses on the new residents of Nancy's Elm Street house, joining a grand tradition of horror sequels which ignore the survivors of previous installments for which would appear to be cost control reasons. Langenkamp told the Never Sleep Again documentary that she was never actually offered a chance to do this movie, and the film line's producer couldn't recall if there had actually been any internal discussions at New Line about bringing Nancy back. It had been hypothesized that David Chaykin and Jack Shoulder's new concept of Freddy, possessing someone in the real world versus killing them in the dreams, seemed so different than the first film that bringing back Nancy would not make sense.
Yeah, I guess I am.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty cool. A lot of this is just pouring out the gay kind of tunes that we already mentioned.
Yeah, the one I'm reading right here is, and I caught this because one thing that I do look at is like layouts and stuff, and the room which used to be Nancy's old bedroom has a different layout.
It does.
And I'm on Elm Street, the door was attached to the same wall as the window, whereas in this film, the door seems to be in the middle of the room. So I did catch that, at a younger age, because I'm like, that's not how it looked in the first one.
Robert Russler auditioned for the role of Ron Grady on the last day of shooting Weird Science. Robert Downey Jr., also known as Iron Man, drove him to the audition.
Yeah, that's funny.
The last film in the original Nightmare on Elm Street series, in which Nancy's house is the focal point of Freddy's terror. The rest of the series focuses more on the town of Springwood, with the house making an occasional appearance. In the hybrid film Freddy vs. Jason, it was referenced that Laurie lived in Freddy's house, but the scene was cut from the theatrical. No, it wasn't. Because the cop's walking up to him and going, 1428, this is the same house.
Yeah.
So they're wrong. All right. Yep. It was the film.
I'm sorry to cut you off.
Go for it.
I knew I wasn't going crazy. Unlike the first film, here Freddy's sweater has stripes on his sleeves.
Yes. So Elm Street, I did find when I was editing the video for last week, the original one, he has just red sleeves.
Yes, I knew.
And then now it started. Yeah. So I forgot to bring that up.
Yeah.
That I caught it when I was editing the video.
Good, nice.
I was like, son of a bitch. He was right. When Lisa finds Nancy's diary while helping Jesse unpack, she reads the address as 1428 Elm Street. The address of the house used for all the exterior shots is at 1428 North Genesee Avenue in West Hollywood.
I like this one. Brad Pitt, John Stamos, and Christian Slater were all auditioned for the role of Jesse. That's funny. I felt Christian Slater would be too young, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he would have that Jack Nicholson standard to him. I could see, like, Brad Pitt.
Yeah, at that age, definitely.
Yeah.
Jesse's car is the same car used in the television series Freddy's Nightmares. It is used by Lar Park Lincoln in Freddy's Nightmare. It's a Miserable Life, 1988. That was a good episode of Nightmare.
Was it a Christmas episode or
No,
something?
that was like the second one.
Okay.
He ends up getting killed by like drive-bys or something. It was
Okay.
it was a decent episode. A lot better than some of the crazy shit on there. In the breakfast scene near the beginning, the family is eating Fu Manchu's cereal.
Look, my fingers.
My fingers! Oh my god! Jesse has a hat and a separate green and red sweater in his closet, a reference to the fact that Freddy Krueger is possessing his body while he's sleeping.
Interesting.
Wes Craven didn't like this film. Craven stated that the film script was substandard and took too many liberties with the character of Freddy Krueger and broke many of the rules set up in the original. He hated the pool scene, feeling he couldn't take Freddy killing teens taller than him seriously.
I'm reading this one. So at the time of this writing, Clue Gallagher was 93, and he was the third longest lived Nightmare on Elm Street cast member. He died in 2022, which, man, I mean, like I said, he was old in 84. I mean, he's already too old to be a dad. But then we had Priscilla Pointer, who appeared in Dream Warriors. I think that she must have been the mean old bat, well, maybe like the doctor.
Yes,
that was against the therapy. And then Zsa Zsa Gabor was 99.
Oh.
I love that scene when she's on the Dick
And
Cavett show.
that was so funny because he's like, I want you to get the stupidest person you know. He's like, Zaza Gabor. Wow, man. So we covered a lot of Nightmare too.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Yeah, I mean, it's got staying power. People love this movie. I'll watch it if it's on. I'll never skip it in the when I go through the watch. Freddy's definitely scarier. It's definitely a scarier movie. Especially the gym scene. The gym scene always freaked me out because, I mean, it was so loud and, like, the cracks and everything were so loud. You didn't know what the fuck was going on.
You're getting attacked by balls.
Yeah, you're getting balls thrown at your face. You're getting your ass tail whipped. I mean, it was a crazy scene.
I mean, they could have went one step further and, like, had the towel, like it was sand in it, you know?
Oh, my God, yeah.
That would have hurt even worse. But, yeah, like I said, the first three Nightmares are my favorite, really. You know, I mean, I had to really. I gave you my ranking, but I forget what it was. But after, I mean, you know, part 2 was definitely one step up, scarier than the original.
Yes.
Part 3 kind of went down just a little bit, and then
for the fear factor, yeah,
and then just part 4 on just camp.
Yeah, but, 4, 5, and 6 were campy.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, 2 was well acted too. You can't go wrong with that. I mean, 3 was well acted. 4 was half acted. I mean,
I
really
just needed a little nudity in it. You know, it was lacking a nipple.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, you don't really get that till
part 3 with the nurse.
Yeah, part 3, part 4, the shower scene.
What's the matter, Joey? Tongue-tied.
My God. It was funny because they were like, this is Joey, he's a Vader. The fuck is a Vader? That bothered me.
Said?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I never...
I don't know what the fuck a Vader is. I still don't.
Maybe he evades conversations.
Maybe he was high or something. I still don't understand.
Well, when we get to part 3, I'll Google what that term might have meant in the 80s.
Yeah, I'll get the official line off the internet because I'm pretty sure that's what she says, and I still am just like, the only person I didn't like in that fucking movie was the doctor, the dude doctor.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He's like too like caring, like way too caring. Like, oh, come on.
But that's what a doctor's supposed
Not
to
to
be.
that point, though. Like, he was just like, he was overacting.
I mean,
I didn't hate his character. I just hate the way he played him.
Okay.
It felt fake. It felt like Leslie Nielsen in fucking The Mask. Or what was that, Invisible? What was that? What was the Leslie Nielsen movie? Where he's fighting the bad dude, Darkman.
Leslie Nielsen? You mean Liam Neeson?
Whatever, dude. It's late. Liam Nielsen.
Sorry, I fell asleep.
That's all right.
So-
Yeah, that guy.
You know what though? When I first watched Darkman, I'm like, this movie is cool as shit.
Yeah, I liked the movie, but
And then when I got
Darkman's
older-
way overacted.
Yeah, and very camp.
Yeah.
Now, I hope they remake that. I know it's like on a list of remakes, but make it dark without the camp. You know?
Yes. Yeah. It'd be a
That'd be
good
cool.
movie because I
Yeah.
liked it when I was little. But like, I just think of that overacting that he did that whole friggin' movie. Just reminds me of that doctor. Because like all the kids killed it in 3.
Mhm.
Nancy killed it in 3. Lawrence Fishburne killed it in 3. And then the doctor is just like, eh. I don't know.
Yeah.
This is always my biggest pet peeve.
Freddy Krueger killed it in 3.
Oh, he
Dun,
does
dun.
it all of them.
Yeah, yeah.
All of them. I love them.
All right. Well, this was a good review. We talked a little bit about some other things. Next time we talk, hopefully both of us would have seen the first episode of The Last of Us, so we can give our first impression on
Yep.
it.
I'm planning on watching it.
Okay. Yeah, me too. Sunday, and
It comes out Sunday?
Comes out Sunday. Yeah.
All right. I'm away, so I should be able to watch it Monday.
And you're not like in a different country that won't have any streaming problems.
Yeah, I'm just I'm in Myrtle Beach.
There you go.
I've been worse places.
Yeah. Yeah.
Crab leg
All right.
pie, baby.
Not with these prices.
No, dude, they got the all-you-can-eat buffets year-round down there.
Ah, shit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Because when Irene and I went to I'm sorry, where were we going? South Carolina?
Yep.
Okay, we were in Maryland, but it was during it was 2020, but like in the fall, I believe, or
Mhm.
maybe summer. So the buffets and stuff had just reopened, so
Yeah.
they still had a little bit of restrictions, but man, was it good to get some crab legs, you know?
And they closed
so,
all the ones in AC for the crab legs. So,
yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
you know what? My boss was even like, get some crab legs while you're down there. I'm like, you approved it.
Nice.
All right, man.
Nice.
But
All right.
let's wrap this up. This has been the
Mhm.
Horror Shed Podcast. Nightmare on Elm Street 2. We will see you guys next week. Goodbye.
Halloween Haunts 365 production.